Why does a smart and capable founder spend years building a business that they don't even like? Not a failed business, a business that's thriving in all metrics. It looks successful, it's making money, but the founder is miserable, trapped inside a business of their own making and a life that they do not like or cannot stand. That's the question I want to answer today. Who am I? I'm Stephen Clark. I've used radical self-analysis, EMDR, and other modalities to level up my life and overcome my internal blocks, and it helped my personal life, my relationship life, and my financial life. So if you're a founder going through this video is for you. I'm going to tell you exactly where this psychology comes from and then how to fix it and overcome it so you can live a life that's more aligned with you. It all starts almost the exact same way. You sit down to choose what you want to build, and you do the exact logical thing. You look at the TAM, the market, what's trending, what might come in the next 5 to 10 years. What can you capitalize on the most? What does PE buy? You build a case for the business, pure logic, pure strategy, and completely beautiful on paper and on that investor deck. And somewhere in the process, a question gets skipped. Not what makes sense, but what am I actually built for? What do I do that other people find difficult? What's effortless for me? The gap between the business that makes sense and the business that matches who you actually are is where the entire problem lives. A logical business and a strengths-based business can occasionally be the same thing, but they're not the same question. And most founders only ever ask the first one. You can build an airtight, fundable, well-researched case for a business that has nothing to do with your actual wiring. The market doesn't care what you're good at, it only cares what's profitable. So if you let the market logic be the only filter, you end up extremely successful at something you never actually wanted or were built to do. That sounds familiar? Kind of scary, not good, we don't like that. But here's what actually happens, step by step, so we can figure out how to address it so it doesn't happen to us, or we can stop it in its tracks and pivot or change or start a new business that actually is more aligned with us. Nobody sits down and consciously chooses misery. You've got two paths in front of you early on. One path you can defend with a spreadsheet, but it makes sense on paper. The other is the thing that you're naturally good at, the thing that moves easily because it's actually you. And right there, right in that moment, your brain does something sneaky. It looks at the hard defensible path and quietly files it under the real business. It's logical, it makes sense. It'll make the most money. PE's buying. Come on. The one that moves easily gets filed under hobby, side thing, or the dreaded lifestyle business, God forbid. Not serious yet. The single misfiling is the whole mechanism. Everything after that, years sometimes, gets built on top of the one mistake of judgment made in a single moment that you probably don't even remember making. Here's the science behind why your brain falls for this so confidently. In 2000, researchers ran a study where they showed people pieces of art and asked them to rate the quality. Half were told the piece took a long time to make. The other half were told it came together pretty quickly. Same object, same every single time, identical in every single way. The ones told it took longer rated it as meaningfully higher quality. Your brain doesn't actually measure value directly. It uses effort as a stand-in for value and quietly substitute one thing for the other without telling you what's happening. And here's the part that matters most for founders specifically. When people could see the actual quality clearly, the bias disappeared. It only survives when the outcome is uncertain, which is exactly where every founder lives every day in their own business. Your brain reaches for effort as a stand-in. Hard must mean it's going somewhere. Easy must mean it isn't real yet. It's not serious. It's too easy. That's the mechanism. Here's why it's dangerous for founders. Founders get celebrated for suffering. Hustle culture, monk mode. The culture around building a company is soaked in grind worship, the sacrifice, the war stories, the trenches. So when something in your business comes easily, it doesn't feel remarkable. It feels suspicious, like you're getting away with something, like you're cheating. This can't be a real path because real founders don't get it easy. You build your identity as a founder around the suffering itself, which means the moment something stops hurting, some part of your panic sets in, that you're actually not building anything at all. So here's what actually plays out. In 1994, a balding man was 30 years old, senior vice president at one of the most respected hedge funds on Wall Street. He's good at it. The job is working by every logical measure. The smart move is to stay. He has this idea for an online bookstore, and he's going to ride the early growth of something called the internet. He brings it to his boss. His boss doesn't say it's a bad idea. He actually says, you know what? This actually sounds really great. It's a good idea, but it sounds like it'd be better idea for someone else who didn't already have a good job. That person was Jeff Bezos. So let's read that again, because that sentence is the entire trap for this whole video here. The idea was good. The only thing working against it was the logical, defensible path had already been taken, which made the path that actually excited him look like the irresponsible move. Bezos didn't resolve it with the spreadsheet though. He used what he later called the regret minimization framework. He projected himself forward to 80 years old, looked back and asked what choice he'd regret more. Fantastic framework for this. Not which choice is harder, not which choice was more defensible, which one from the end of a full life would actually haunt him if he never tried it again. So what did he do? He quit. He started Amazon out of a garage. You probably have multiple packages that you don't even need stacked up at your front door right now. But notice exactly what almost stopped him. Not bad math, not a weak market. It was the quiet social pressure to disqualify the thing that he actually wanted, purely because the safer, more logical path was already working. Now, I want to be precise again, because ignoring logic and just following what feels good is genuinely bad advice. And that's not what I'm telling you. Plenty of essential work is hard and worth every bit of the difficulty. The actual diagnosis isn't hard versus easy. It isn't logic versus feeling. It's does this business use what you're actually built for, or does it just make sense on paper? A surgeon's hand moving fast after 10,000 hours of practice isn't a red flag because it looks easy. The ease is mastery, earned through years inside their actual strength. The danger isn't choosing something logical. It's choosing something logical while ignoring whether it has anything to do with you at all. Here's a clean way to actually check which one you're in specific to your business right now. Think about the part of your company that comes easily to you, the thing you've downgraded because it never made you bleed for it, even though deep down, you know it's where you're gifted. Run the Bezos question on it directly. Project yourself to 80. Will you regret building your business around what you're genuinely built for? Or will you regret spending another decade inside something you only chose because it made sense on a spreadsheet? Almost gonna make me cry. Tell me about it in the comments. I wanna hear your experience. If you wanna know exactly which block is keeping you and your business stuck, I built a quick quiz that you can jump down in the description and get. It's gonna uncover your blocks and allow you to figure out what they are so we can overcome them together, because this is the single most important thing you can do for your business, for your life, and for everyone around you, because you do not fail in a vacuum and you do not succeed in one either. But none of this matters unless you have the tools to figure out what you actually want. And in order to find that, you can watch this video right here. Fuck yeah, I'm fine with that. We like this. That was fun and that was good.